it's actually quite appropriate and quite a proud moment for me to be invited by the Localist, because we're 7 years old in New Zealand, Borderless is, and when we first started in New Zealand, we felt very strongly actually international, which you wouldn't be probably shocked by with the name Borderless, because our roots originally had been in Vancouver, Canada, where we had started exploring ideas of borderlessness, where we could use film and eventually campaign design and management to help bring ideas to people on screen and in their homes, and then inspire them to do something, to take action around issues which to us were the most important issues, the big global issues, the HIV/AIDS orphans, or the big drug epidemic in North America, and the massive climate change problems globally, and things that were, and people going missing in Sri Lanka, and civil rights and press freedoms in Nepal, and these are projects we'd felt quite strongly connected to. But I was most frightened by the return to New Zealand. And having come from New Zealand, it was probably just because I thought, God, are we really making the right move here? Because we've set ourselves up for this big international kind of, thing, and we're going to go down to the bottom of the earth and park in Auckland and get a house with a picket fence and have 2.5 kids and a car and dog, and life's over. It's been awesome actually, because internationally New Zealand is the best place to be. And thank God for the internet, because we would actually have been life over if we'd come back here if it wasn't for that. And people in Canada respected us more because we were back in New Zealand. They wanted to work with us more. We made our first major Canadian film after we'd parked back in New Zealand. There's so much more opportunity when we actually remove ourselves out of the hysteria of North America and start to see the world a bit more objectively from New Zealand. And I think that's one of the qualities we have here. So actually living locally and I live in Onehunga, so going down and buying everything I can from Onehunga to pump it up is kind of one of my little passions. And so in the 7 years, actually, I've marked some of my own little successes in Borderless by how local can my work become as well. So how many businesses can I work with locally? How many people can I know locally? How many lives can we touch locally? And I had the great honour of helping Minnie Baragwanath, who's here tonight, set up Be Accessible, which is a national but local project to really try and rebrand the notion of disability to become something that's to accessibility, something highly aspirational, very important, very relevant to every one of us. Now starting to work on a project with a large corporate around nourishing kids who go to school in the lower, in some of the poorer areas without lunch. And so a topic actually some of us will be kind of familiar with lately in the news. So it's these kinds of local projects for me that are quite heartening, because I get to go and kind of touch and feel the subject matter and meet people, and they really do move me a lot. But really the excitement of being an entrepreneur, and I'm assuming some people here are, is like none other. And I honestly don't think I would do anything else. I do love being a business, even though I work in the category of social change, which some may argue ought to be owned by the not-for-profit or NGO category, but I don't see it that way. I actually think businesses have a really incredibly important role to play in ensuring the well-being of society. And so aside from hopefully succeeding in developing social change programs and campaigns and films and so forth, I actually want to make a social change company succeed, because I want to show that actually a company can make money, can do well, can build a brand and reputation and take itself seriously on all those financial, businessy levels, but at the same time hopefully take itself, be responsible and actually genuinely engage in the community it works with. So those are my kind of balanced ambitions. And in the end, I feel like all I trade in is relationships. I kind of live and die by the relationships that I hold dear to me, and nothing else really matters in the end. No amount of money, no number of assets or rich and fame or anything you can acquire in one's life really matter in the end. I think the quality of the relationships we create around us, and in business as well, is probably the measure of our own self-worth. So I'll leave it at that, and yeah, maybe talk to you soon. Thanks.